Welcome back to another episode of the Hello Spring podcast. I am your host, Stephen Jody Works, and today we are hanging out with someone who's been absolutely crushing it in the creator space and a fellow Forbes 30 Under 30 lister, my good friend, Emma Nicole, who is an award-winning gaming content creator of the year, a Forbes 30 Under 30 lister on the Europe's list of 2025, and the founder of the new social platform called Playnist, a platform for gamers who want a more meaningful and community-driven way to discover, organize, and share their gaming experiences. So we're going to be diving deep into her journey of where she started and where she's at now, the glow up of her career, and the pressure and excitement that comes with the recognition and everything she's building next. So definitely sit back, relax, and enjoy the episode because you, my friends, will be left inspired. Emma Nicole, thank you so much for coming on my podcast for Hello Spring for
Oh,
season 2. I am very, very, very excited to talk to you about everything about you as a creator, your achievements over the years, Forbes 30 Under 30, your
oh,
new project, Playlist. I want to
so
know all things
excited.
about it.
Oh, thank you so much. I am so honored to be here. I cannot wait to chat with you, go into detail, talk about everything. Yeah, thank you so much for giving me the space to share all of these exciting projects.
Yeah, no problem. I've always been a big fan of your content. When I found your content just randomly on YouTube Shorts, I'm like, this person has a lot of insight and it's very informational. Like there are things in The
Oh.
Sims that I did not know, and I've been playing this game for so many years.
I find that to be such an incredible part about being a content creator because I have that exact same experience all the time. And you think, as a Sims content creator, we kind of get the feeling we know the game inside and out, but I am still probably on a weekly basis learning things about the game that are not new features. These are old features, they are features that have been
Right.
around for years.
It's crazy. This game is already 11 years old. Sims 4 is at least. Yeah.
Crazy.
11 years. We all thought it was going to end at 5 years. Nope.
Yes. No,
11
still
years is still
going.
going strong.
Still going strong and still innovating, still so many new ideas. Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
interesting actually to see where it's going to be in like 5 years from now.
Oh my gosh. Will I even still be making content?
Yeah, yeah, I hope
Oh,
so.
I hope so. I really hope so.
I hope
But
so.
just to kind of introduce you to the podcast, can you tell everyone who you are and what you do?
Of course. So I am Emma Nicole. I go by Hi Emma Nicole. I am a Sims content creator, kind of first and foremost, but I guess over the years I found myself exploring all the other fun life simulation games and then kind of tapping into a few other cozy casual gaming genres. I started on Twitch in January of 2021. It was kind of middle of lockdown
Mm.
and it's quite a familiar story. We were all kind of looking for community and connection, and I was just introduced to the world of live streaming and have never looked back. So, yeah, that was a pretty important discovery. And then I think very quickly you kind of find yourself across all the platforms. So TikTok and YouTube and Instagram quickly followed. And I've been doing that for the last over 4 years, but it has flown by. I mean, the world of social media has changed a lot in those 4 and a bit years, but yeah, in terms of timing, it really has just felt like overnight. I still feel like a newbie, just kind of figuring out what I'm doing.
I mean, honestly, I think we all are at the end of the day learning how to navigate this crazy, crazy world of the internet.
Yeah.
And we never expected to go as far as we thought it would be and making it our
Nope.
full-time career. It's like I just did this because I was like either bored, wanting to show something, or just locked
Right?
down. And it's like, what how? We make
It's
money on the internet? Like that's
crazy.
weird.
It's so weird, and you're so right. I don't think anyone really goes into it thinking, I'm going to make this a real professional career because there's still, even now, 4 years later, there's still a little bit of a sense of, what even is a content creator? How do you make
Right.
money? Like it still feels a little bit kind of like the Wild West, like we're all just figuring it out. Like it's not a legitimate job. It's maybe somewhat of a perception still, but I mean, yeah, it's been it's been just such a steep learning curve, figuring it out, trying to find ways to make it as legitimate as possible, trying to, making that jump from it just being a hobby to a career. I guess, yeah, we're all still trying to figure that out.
Yeah, that is very true. And I think it all it takes is if you have the will and the passion for it, then anyone can really be a content creator at the end of the day.
Mhm. Mhm.
Uh,
I love that. That's one of my favorite parts about content creation is that we can all just do it from the phone that we have right now in our pocket.
Literally. Phones are advancing every single day. They just launched the new iPhone. I mean,
I
I'm a Samsung
saw.
user, so I feel like cameras are just advancing. People make movies out of their phone from their phones alone.
Mhm. Mhm. It's incredible, and yeah, with short content, I mean, you really are not expected to have any kind of like fancy setup, and it's not even expected. I feel like the content that is just doing better is the content that is kind of scrappy and just kind of thrown together in 10 seconds. I don't know if you find the same thing that I have, but if I spend like several hours on a video and I'm feeling super proud of it and I feel like it deserves, to be seen, that video will always flop. It's the video that like
Yes.
takes 10 seconds to throw together. That's the video that will end up doing well.
Yep, exactly. I remember, not to talk about me, but I feel like when I posted a video on January 1st of this year, it was just a random like 9-second video that I just edited randomly of my sim child getting whisked away from CPS, and then my
Oh
sim
my
kid
god.
died. So it was crazy. It all happened so quickly, and this was like around The Sims 4 like life and death updates and things.
Mhm.
So I couldn't actually play him as a ghost because he was just gone. And that
Oh
video
my god.
has like I think over 800,000 views or something like that.
Oh, for 9 seconds? That is
Yes,
hilarious.
it's wild. I don't
Yes.
understand. People love shock value, so I'm like, okay, I'll keep doing it.
Keep doing it, but then it's funny because then I'll, like, try to recreate, I feel like I'll just about understand what does well, and then I'll try to recreate it thinking I've figured out, the step-by-step process and, like, be very quickly humbled that you actually don't know, Emma. You really don't know. You think you know, you don't know.
Yeah. So, what inspired you to start your journey as a content creator?
So I guess let's rewind to 4.5
Yes.
years ago. And, we were all kind of confined to our space, our home, our apartment. And I was having a lot of free time. I was kind of working freelance, but the industry that I was working in before was really impacted by COVID. So actually, the work that I was able to do was very slow. So I had a lot more free time, and I guess that meant a lot more gaming. So I was spending a lot more time playing The Sims. And
Mhm.
I was introduced to Twitch from my brother, who just
Oh.
saw, I guess it was kind of the rise of social media during those 2 years of lockdown. TikTok was having its boom. Twitch also was really kind of taking off. And I was not aware of any of this. And he introduced me to these worlds. And I think at first I was hesitant that there would even be any Sims content on a platform like Twitch. And I
Mhm.
was wrong. There was actually already thriving communities of simmers, content creators of playing games that I really loved, like Animal Crossing. And
Yes.
oh my God, I was obsessed. It was just being just a community member at that time on Twitch was it was really precious because we were all in the same boat
Mhm.
and we all just kind of were living through each other, connecting with people around the world, connecting over like the same passion of whatever game it was. And yeah, it was just honestly it was a bit of a bubble because, of what was going on in the wider world,
Mhm.
but it was important to have that kind of escape, I think, for a lot of us. So yeah, I was totally obsessed. And yeah, honestly, the transition of being a community member to then deciding to stream was a bit of a blur. I actually don't even remember the thought process, but I think it was just like one day thinking, I would love to do this. I would love to share my game and my passion with other people. So yeah, just I guess one day I decided to, I mean, my setup was basically just my iPhone, which was my camera plugged into my MacBook. So it was the very raw, stripped back setup.
Mm.
And yeah, that was kind of where it all started. And if I told Emma now what this would become, she would never believe me. But yeah, it kind of makes me emotional. I think that's really kind of special that I went into it super naively and, as we said, just kind of like a hobby, never thinking it would turn
Yeah.
into anything else.
Yeah, and I think, like, when you don't overthink and you just do, it's, like, the most thrilling, but also, like, the most
So
scary at the same
true.
time.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's like, we just start and we hope for the best, and it
Mhm.
grows and grows and grows the more comfortable we get. Sure, like, every single day, like, when we turn on that camera, we are still nervous because it's a camera, and we have to do at
Mhm.
least something if we possibly can, and we just don't know how it's going to be perceived. But as long as
Mhm.
we're, like, showing up for ourselves and, like, making sure that we are okay, and everything else kind of falls into place.
So true. I completely agree. I feel like if you take the pressure off and you just do it because you enjoy it, then you can go to sleep at night feeling proud of yourself, feeling accomplished, feeling like you've just shown up and just, done the best that you can. And that is really all that you can offer the world. And I think when I put I think I've noticed this actually in the last 4 years. When I put too much pressure on myself for something, whether that's like to deliver the best video possible or,
Mhm.
to stream with a certain level of energy and make people laugh, it just kind of sucks the fun out of it. It just like the pressure is not helpful. So
No.
if you strip it back to its kind of raw ingredients of just gaming, Sims, fun, then that really is just that's just the best kind of way that you can start. You just jump straight in, and I think it's just a nicer experience for anyone.
Yeah, it definitely is. Like, you just gotta start with the bare basics and go right then and there. Don't break the bank. Just use what you
Hmm.
have. And then eventually, once you feel like you are ready, then, upgrade your stuff, investing in yourself. Like, you're not just spending money to have, like, the biggest setup, you are investing in your future.
Totally agree. Totally agree. It keeps it casual. And then also, it kind of gives you that headspace to figure out if you even like it. So, if you don't like streaming, you can stop and you know that you haven't spent X amount of money on a hobby that you no longer enjoy. So, it's definitely like streaming is not for everyone. In the end, I wasn't, I think I streamed for maybe two and a bit years. And then I kind of went on a hiatus and now don't stream anywhere near as often. Um, but yeah, for streaming is not for everybody. So if you make that financial investment so quickly, then I think the pressure comes too fast. So yeah, definitely just always take your time and see if it's even something you enjoy.
Yeah, that's true. And I think when it comes to, like, growing your audience, growing your platform, there can be a lot of challenges of, like, trying to figure out what works, what doesn't work. How can I make this video, like, the best it could possibly and make it better, like, than the last one? But also, how can I stay true to myself? And how can I
Mm-hmm.
just continue to stay with the trends that keep
Mm-hmm.
popping up every single day, whether it's on TikTok or YouTube or even Instagram, and they're changing their algorithms constantly. But, like,
Oh
what are, like,
yeah.
some of the biggest challenges, like, you faced when you were, like, building your platform, like, 4.5 years ago?
I mean, I think the big word that comes to my mind is uncertainty. I feel like that can be applied to
Mm,
several different things. Just the entire landscape as a creator was extremely uncertain and still is. I mean, as we said before, there's still a little bit of a lack of legitimacy with the job. And I mean, personally, I was asking myself questions like, am I going to be a content creator for forever? Like what is my relationship now with my job? And, you know, is this going to be something that I'm going to be doing for years? How much investment do I make into it? So I mean, I was asking myself and still am asking myself those questions about kind of the legitimacy of my job and um, the wider landscape as a creator, as you said, just every day is so different. I mean, we are kind of like one man bands trying to just do it
Yeah.
all. And it's a lot on our shoulders. And if we're not kind of sat at our desk working, then, we're not earning and we're not growing. So there's a lot of pressure to show up every day, kind of best foot forward, and navigate this really uncertain job, and uncertain economy, and just, yeah, try to make it as stable as possible, because as you said, even the social media platforms are unstable, so it just makes
Yes.
everything feel really kind of, yeah, uncertain.
Oh, that's a very that's a very good word to describe it. Like the
Hmm.
uncertainty of the internet, the uncertainty of just like being a content creator, because like you said, like people are still trying to understand what is a content creator, like what does that actually truly entail? Like we make content online, but what do you actually do? And I think when you solidify it and like go back to your bare roots of like understanding like why am I doing this? Like who am I as the creator? When you put yourself in your content, then it becomes all clear. At least that's what it was for me, and I feel like that was also for you. Like you, from like looking behind the scenes, like on my end and watching your
Hmm.
content, I see a lot of you in your content, and like you're putting your authenticity and your realness and your rawness into your reviews, your short form content, and now doing so many big things out in the world. Like it really goes to show, like when you put you in your brand, it makes it shine.
Oh, that is honestly, that is so nice. I really appreciate that. I feel exactly the same, by the way. I feel like there's some incredible content creators in kind of the Sims world and in the gaming world, I guess,
Mhm.
that like the true passion for what we do shines in the content. I mean, we couldn't fake it. We couldn't play these games for hours and hours and hours if we didn't have like a underlying just love for the games that we play. Um, and I think what's also amazing is that the games that we are talking about, like The Sims, they're so creative. So it's such an outlet, like a creative outlet for us to do what we love and then share that with the community. So I totally feel the same way about you and so many other Sims content creators. And that's, I guess, the amazing thing about social media in general is that it provides people with a platform to just share what they love and maybe turn it into a full-time job, but that's absolutely not necessary.
No.
But for the most part, it just is a platform for us to kind of share what we love. And like, that's just such an amazing feeling to be able to do that.
Yeah, it is. And like you started streaming on Twitch a while back ago, and there was like a huge presence around that time because everyone was like doing it. But I remember it was like way back in like 2016, 2017. There really wasn't a Sims presence back then. So like we were
No.
steadily growing over time of trying to understand how can we make the Sims bigger on Twitch, and like there wasn't really that many people. I just know like it was like me, Andrew Arcade, and Curtis
Yeah.
Parody, and James, and Deli, and Simsy, and like a few other
Wow.
people. Um, it was just like a very like close niche kind of community, and then of
Mm-hmm.
course, as Twitch started to recognize that Sims is like it's a legit game, it has been. It's the biggest franchise I would think in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like there was like this one person on Twitch who was like who worked at Twitch and kind of like navigated and like spearheaded all these like sim campaigns. And so there were a lot of
Oh,
different ways
wow.
to promote the Sims on Twitch on a bigger scale. And then I think as the game evolved over time, so did the community on all the platforms. And I think it's only made us so more creative and so more inspired to do different things that we could
Mm-hmm.
take the Sims into like a real life aspect, like turning Sims into real life people or turning houses into real life
Mm-hmm.
houses, and it's like a whole thing. And I find it so nice to see like the authenticity of
Mm-hmm.
how people navigate this game every day, and we learn so many things. And watching your content, I've learned a lot of things like with businesses and hobbies. I've recently watched one of your shorts, And I
Mhm.
honestly forget about those small features about that
Me
game, and
too.
it's so new. And I'm like, "Oh, well then,
Yeah.
let me just go ahead and try this now." And it's just great to have that. And how would you say like you've navigated the balance of like short form content versus long form content? Because they're like totally two different things.
Ooh, great question. I feel like it's been a fairly new, well, no, it's not been new, but it's not something I dealt with from the beginning. So at the beginning, it was like long form, couple of TikToks and streaming. But, short form content has really overtaken all the other forms, and, it's totally just like an entity on its own. I I definitely found a love for short form content more than, long form, for example. I really feel like it's kind of a fun challenge to kind of portray whatever you're trying to portray, whether that's like an educational video or maybe it's entertaining. I kind of enjoy the challenge of trying to convey that in 45 seconds. And I think that the content that I consume myself is more short form content.
Mm,
So in a way, I'm in that world. I'm learning from all these other creators. I'm feeling, what's working on me personally, what kind of content I'm enjoying consuming, and trying to bring that over to my own content. So yeah, the battle between short form and long form is kind of ongoing, but at the moment, still really enjoying the short form and kind of the challenge of, you know, turning an idea into a short 45-second clip. I think the times where I felt like I've been able to really find the perfect harmony
mm,
is when I learned this a couple of years ago. I saw that someone was taking a long form video and then chopping it up into several short form videos, so it'd be like one
mhm,
piece of content dissected into 10 smaller pieces of content. And I wasn't doing that. I was kind of doing it the long way. So every piece of content I was filming specifically for. And then I had this like kind of eureka moment where I was thinking, "Oh my god, I need to completely overhaul my workflow, simplify it in terms of my time and have one kind of filming session and then break that down into long form, I don't know, 5 short form and maybe a couple clips that I could put on Twitter or something." And that kind of was pretty game changing for me. It really helped me streamline my workflow. And I was then able to have more dedicated content sessions, I would say. So it would be like Monday and Wednesday would be a content day. And then maybe Tuesday, Thursday would be the editing day. And I guess that's just part of finding your flow as a content creator. So, some people really enjoy the editing parts and spend days and days editing. Others maybe really enjoy filming or streaming. I think there's probably a big part of trial and error. We just got to figure
mm.
out what we like, what we don't like, and then adapt and evolve our workflow. Um, and yeah, constantly just, I guess honestly, we're also just responding to the trends. So I'm kind of scared what's coming next. I'm learning that these really long, I think they're called like living room YouTube videos are popular, which are over an hour long.
Ooh. Oh my gosh.
I cannot imagine how that would work in like the gaming world. Over an hour of a
Oh
of a
my
YouTube
gosh.
video. I don't know. Do you watch long videos like that?
It depends on certain types of videos. Like for me, I gravitate towards a lot of like cleaning, decluttering type
Love
videos. They're
those.
very relaxing. I love them. And for sim videos, it really depends on like if I'm like ready for that. I mean, Plumbella, if you've seen
True.
her iceberg videos, I'm still watching those because they're like over an hour long and I love it. And I love Sims. So like the lore
Mhm.
is like what draws me in.
Mhm.
Build
Great
videos,
example.
yes. I'm I think there was a video that she did was like 3 hours long. And I'm like, I need to digest all of that and take it bit by
Yes.
bit because
Yeah.
it's definitely a
True.
lot. But, like, what do you like for, like, long form, like, hour-long videos?
Ooh, so, well, at the moment, my YouTube algorithm is loving documentaries. You know what?
Mm.
I'm going through a construction documentary phase,
Oh
like
my gosh.
building
Wait.
these, like, incredible homes and, like, big projects around the world. I'm in that phase right now.
Same. I don't know if you've seen the video, but I was just watching a video, I think that was, like, over maybe, like, an hour or so minute long of
Mhm.
someone turning a school into a livable house.
Oh my god. Wait, I would
And
so watch that. I'm gonna
it's
find that video.
it's so interesting because, like, a school that was abandoned or it was in session, then abandoned, and then someone, like, bought it and then turned into a house. I'm like, that's a lot
Wow.
because you have to, like, tear up a lot of things, remove a lot of walls, and figure out how to make it livable, like the stairs and the bathrooms. It's a whole thing, and
Wow.
I love those type of videos because when they go fully in depth, and especially when it takes them several months to complete the whole thing, to see the highs and the lows, oh,
Oh my
it's
god, I
great.
love that. You know what? That's such an interesting point because I do consume videos where it clearly has taken them months and months and months to produce one video. And I actually met someone the other night who was telling me that they spend months and months on just one video. It's like research and meetings with their team, and it's a whole production just for one YouTube video.
Oh,
And
wow.
in contrast, I was just thinking my videos, I takes me a couple days. I do not have kind of the research sessions, or the meetings that go into these other videos. So it's just interesting how YouTube is, I mean, the scale and the spectrum of different types of content is very vast. You
Oh,
have
yeah.
everything from like, I mean, I'm sure some videos take years. And then on the other end, you've got like things whipped up in a few seconds.
Mhm, that's true. Like, for example, like Mr. Beast, his videos I feel like are on a whole other scale and, like, vastly different. He does a lot of really
Crazy.
good in the world, and it's, like, so amazing, and
Mm-hmm.
it takes him probably, like, months, years to do all these things, but it's, like, so fascinating. Whereas, like,
Mm-hmm.
versus I feel like Sims creators, it takes us, like, maybe, like, a day or a couple days or a couple months, depending on, like, what kind of content we're making.
Yeah.
Like, yesterday, at least the time that we're recording this was yesterday, but,
Mm-hmm.
for anyone that's new, um, they just dropped the gameplay trailer for Adventure Awaits. I swear,
Yes.
that video was great, and I'm not joking. I got up at 8 o'clock in the morning, sat down at my computer, filmed my intro, and then I watched the trailer, dissect the whole entire trailer, the blog post, and the EA app, everything. I filmed and edited all in one day and uploaded it the same day. Never
Oh,
again.
wait. No. First of all, congratulations. So impressive. I feel like that whole process would overwhelm me, but you executed that and that's incredible.
It's
Um,
stressful.
but do you know what's really interesting is I feel like with gaming, you kind of this sounds like you maybe have a similar experience to me. You really have to be quick. You have to
Yes.
be so reactive to announcements and trailers and new packs dropping. It's because people, I guess they want, or not even want, but I guess it's just a reaction because it's a trend. People are searching for
Mhm.
videos, and you kind of want to be in that loop at the initial rush of people looking for content on a specific topic. And as a result, we just kind of get conditioned into thinking, okay, we got to do it. We have to be the quickest or like one of the quickest. We have to just, edit, film, upload, post, schedule, all of that within like 24 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. But lordy Lou, that stuff is definitely a rush, like you said. Like, we have to be quick and on top of, like, the trends with gaming because it's changing so constantly, and the gaming industry as a whole has
Yeah.
changed dramatically with different genres coming up, different games popping up, whether it's indie
Mm-hmm.
games or AAA games from game studios, and I find it so fascinating because every game developer, every game studio is vastly different on how they create their games, whether it's through skin tones or hairstyles or building
Mm-hmm.
features. It's so interesting how they do
Mm-hmm.
it and how they market it and who's like how they grab people's attention for it.
You're so right. It's probably one of my favorite parts actually is being able to I like for example, I play more games now than I ever have before because
Oh,
I
same.
we're fully in that world. So as you said, we're exposed to, all these different games online. And you're so right. It's so interesting to see how every game does it so differently. And there's some parts of a game that you love, and then obviously there's going to be parts of a game that you don't love, and there is really no perfect game. At least, in my opinion, there's not been a perfect experience yet. Everything has its ups and downs, but yeah,
Mhm.
it's such an evolving and fast industry. And I mean, yeah, I'm really intrigued to see where the gaming, maybe specifically the life simulation genre is going to go in like
Oh,
5 years
yes.
from now.
Yeah, especially with The Sims and, like, Enzoy and Paralives and all these other life sims, like, I am very
Mhm.
curious, how can they still carry the same message that they've started with, but evolve with the ever-growing economy of video games and trends and new
Mhm.
audiences? Because everyone falls out of love with gaming every once in a while, but
Mhm.
when a game has, like, that one core thing that's like, "Oh, I remember this feature. I remember this type of, like, feeling. I wanna get back into it." Like, for example, when The Sims re-released The Sims 1 and 2, that, like, changed
True.
so many people's, perspective, I would think, in The Sims, like, as a whole, because it's such
Mhm.
an old, old game, and people probably played The Sims 1 and 2 at least once in their life or heard about it and couldn't really buy it, and then when they re-released it, like, they just tapped into a new audience, but also
So
older
true.
audiences that couldn't pick it up anymore or just were like, "Let's do it again."
So true. And I think Sims is so rooted in nostalgia anyway. The
Yes.
music, some of the characters, I don't know, the look and feel of the game. It's so nostalgic for so many of us. Like the re-releases where it was just, I think, a great move. And I occasionally find myself playing The Sims 3. And I mean, obviously The Sims 4 has come on, really far since The Sims 3, and there's been some great advancements and improvements. But there's just something so magical about kind of re-experiencing these games that we used to play back in the day. They're just like
Yeah.
little time capsules. And I think there's no other medium that fully makes us feel the kinds of emotions that gaming does. It is
No.
so it like emotive, I think.
It definitely is. I go back to The Sims 2 and 3 all the time because of how I felt in that moment when I was a kid and how I played, and it's something
Oh.
I will always remember for the rest of my life that I will cherish, and I feel like I wouldn't be where I am today without The Sims, realistically, because I feel like The
Mhm.
Sims really shaped me as a creator and a
Mhm.
storyteller, and it gave me, like, that avenue, that position to be more creative with my everyday life, whether it's art, writing, or directing, or acting.
I feel the same. I feel like it has really shaped a lot of us in our childhood, and then how amazing that we get to kind of carry that forward even as adults.
Yeah, that is very true, and I feel like with gaming, it will always be with us. No matter how old we get, it will always
Mhm.
be there whenever we need it, and with the gaming industry evolving, there's always new awards happening, shows happening
Oh.
all around the world, and I feel like when you got the opportunity to and won Gaming Creator of the Year in 2024,
Mhm.
like, that was a huge moment, I will say. Like, that's a very, very huge moment
Oh.
for the Creator Awards. Um, like, what was the moment you realized, like, how big that achievement really was? Like, did you know about the award show before, or was this, like, your first time just hearing about it? 'Cause I assume that you have to apply for it.
Yes. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I did know about it. It's especially well in the UK, it's kind of a award show that every year I see kind of populate my Twitter feed, and I see like creators that I really aspire to, across all different industries, fashion and beauty and lifestyle and culinary. I see them, they would be posting about it. Never in a million years, though, would I even have the thought, oh, one day I would love to do that. Like that was just really not in my kind of mindset. Um,
Mhm.
but my manager is, I owe a lot of credit to my manager, who really does an amazing job at keeping me in the loop about awards and nominating and applying for things. I think that I've learned to be my biggest advocate, and don't just to not just sit and wait for someone to nominate you. It's got to, not always, but it's got to kind of, at least the energy, at least for it, has to come from you.
Mhm.
And now I'm the biggest believer in, being my biggest advocate and just nominating myself for things, whether I, ever think in a million years that it's kind of on my horizon. It doesn't matter. I guess every application is its own thing, and it's fun to apply. You take that moment to kind of reflect on your career, and it asks you questions about yourself and your intentions behind things, and I think that whole experience is just fun to do anyway. So I was aware of it. I had applied, and then was really excited to get an email to say that I had been shortlisted and was invited to the award show in London last year. Now, what's really funny about this story is, let me tell you that I was so convinced that I was never going to win. So convinced that I,
Mhm.
in the email to us, they said, just maybe prepare a speech, because you don't know if you'll win or not, but just could be good to have that in your pocket. I didn't even prepare a speech. I was so convinced. I saw the email and I was like, I don't need to do that. I'm just going to go. I'm going to have a glass of wine and I'm just going to have fun for the night and just be so grateful that I even have the opportunity to go to something like this. So I'm sitting at this in this beautiful location, surrounded by these amazing creators, kind of in La La Land, honestly, just taking it all in. And my jaw dropped when I heard my name. And I had like 15 seconds from the time of getting up from my chair to walking to the stage. I had 15 seconds to think
Oh
of what
my
I was going to
gosh.
say. And I was like, I had a million words going through my mind. I was thinking, oh God, Emma, you like, what are you going to say? You're just going to fumble your words. You're going to make a fool of yourself and embarrass yourself. It was a blur. I managed to pull something together. I couldn't even tell you what it was because it was a blur, but I said something up there. And I was just kind of in shock and so speechless and so grateful, and definitely have learned from that experience, which is, just go into those experiences thinking that there's maybe a little bit of a possibility, have something prepared so you don't like have a freak out. But it was just an incredible experience. And I'm so, still to this day, just so grateful to have been, um, selected by the judges and the community to win.
Oh, that's really cool. I think that's honestly the coolest story ever because you never know. Like, it's
No.
like you apply and you just don't worry about it. You get stuff and it's like, okay, is this real? Is this happening? Is this fake?
Yes.
We don't know. And then you get there, it's like, oh, something's happening. I'm worried.
Uh-oh.
I would be
Yeah.
so scared if I was like in an award like room and they called my name. It's like, who? That's
Who?
fake. That's not real.
Yeah, that's not, surely that's not my name. Having an out of body experience, like, no, that's not me. I'm not Emma.
That's like that. That's not me. I'm Janice. That's my name.
Yes. Tonight I'm Janice.
And so with all that being said, like that is a very huge achievement and like you were brought back next year for to be on the judging committee and
Yes.
so for like, the same award show. Like what does that
Hmm.
truly entail with being on the judging committee? Like how does it all work and like I want to know.
So cool. So yeah, the invitation came after I had won, and they asked if I wanted to be part of the judging committee, which was really interesting now to get like the other perspective of it. feeling again like I'm totally not deserving of that opportunity, but
You do.
um oh, but I mean, I'm just grateful. And it's actually really, really cool to be able to kind of, in a way, give back to like the next generation, or like the next cohort of creators for this year. So yeah, the experience has been amazing. I get to go again to the award show, which is in October, and they will, I guess they'll give me a category, and then I have, I'll be alongside other judges for this category, and the judges are experts from the industry. They're maybe owners of agencies or PR specialists or other creators. So they're getting a really kind of diverse um, range of voices in the kind of creator economy. And then we get our one category, and then yeah, over the next couple of months there's, I guess, a bit of a research process that goes into learning about all the different creators. And it's amazing because I'm so into the gaming creator world, and
Hmm.
I'm going to have to be learning about a totally different kind of niche of creator industry. So it won't be the gaming that I'll be kind of judging on. It will be something else. And I'll get to learn about, like, maybe, I don't know, the lifestyle or the culinary kind of creator economies. I don't actually know what the category is yet, but yeah, I
Hmm.
get to kind of do a full deep dive into whatever the category is that I'll be selected for. And then yeah, in October, I guess the results will be revealed, and I'll be so excited to celebrate with whoever wins.
Oh, that's really fun. And honestly, being able to judge like a different category that's like not in your niche
Mhm.
expands like your portfolio and your knowledge of those creators and like that whole industry as a whole. Cause cooking, culinary, fashion, lifestyle, makeup is like so different and it's evolved
So
so much
different.
over the years. And
Mhm.
like we thought gaming was like complicated, but no, culinary, makeup, fashion is a whole
Yes.
other thing.
Yeah.
And fashion evolves, makeup evolves, cooking styles evolve over the years, and new genres, new niches come up that we're like, when was this a thing? And they always say
Yes.
it's always been a thing. It's like, oh, well, that's nice.
Yes. So true. I feel like that's actually an experience I feel like I have semi regularly. I just get transported into this new world on TikTok. The trying to think of an example, but it just like every few weeks I just get thrown into this new kind of niche that, yeah, it's so different to the worlds that we're in, but it's so interesting. It's really like
Hmm.
there is really a community for absolutely everything nowadays. It's pretty incredible.
It really is. And especially how creators of all different niches tap into the trends like on TikTok, for example. I've seen so many iterations of the Jet 2 holiday trend and and I'm
That's
like
so funny.
it's like it wasn't even a trend, it was a commercial and then they added in oh my gosh, I forgot the song, but it's an iconic song and I love the artist, but the name escapes me. Either way,
Okay.
the Jet Hoot holiday, that whole thing was funny as ever and I'm just like
Wild.
people tapped into that like very quickly.
I have a question for you. Do you feel like the gaming communities and the gaming content creators, I feel like in general, I'm pretty happy and proud that we're slightly less kind of trend focused. I feel like we don't hop onto trends as fast or as much as other niches do. And I like that. I like that we kind of at least don't have to react so quickly to the thousands and thousands of trends and sound effects and all of these things that are happening.
Honestly, I'm kind of glad that we don't like
Mhm.
we're kind of like we're lesser on like the trends because when I feel like trends don't always correlate to does this work for ourselves, our brand, our community, and if it doesn't, we don't have to do it.
So true. So true.
And it's like, is it worth it? No. Sometimes yes. It really it's all about I think for us it's about timing. If the
Mhm.
trend dies, but what we're doing now and it works for that sound or that trend, then we'll do it. And it kind of like
Mhm.
resurges after a couple of years or so with most of the time. Like certain trends have happened like musically dead and gone, but people are like
Mhm.
slowly bringing it back. every so often, and it's becoming more of a trend of making musically style content and shorter form content like Vine, and it's definitely nice that we don't
Mhm.
have to be in like that trend hardcore mode unless we want to.
I totally agree. I think that we, in general, prefer longevity rather than
Yes.
reacting super quickly to trends. But then, there's definitely been some hilarious trend focused Sims videos. When the crossover does happen, it's hilarious.
Oh, it
It can be
is.
so funny.
I love when there's Sims like trend memes happening. I'm like, yes. And I'm like, give it to me right now. Like the sound just works for this, and we have to
Yes.
go with it.
So true. Like when you listen to a sound effect and you can just picture like Bella Goth and you're like, "Oh my god,
Oh
this
my
is a
gosh.
gem."
Yes, 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 yes. And like I am so excited to see like the Sims community evolve even more. Like the fact that we're getting a Sims movie by Margot Robbie
Oh
is
my god,
like
I've
so
forgotten about
exciting.
that.
Yeah. I'm just like, it's getting better and better every single day, and I'm here for it. Oh,
Oh my god, wait, has there been an update for that actually? I feel like that's fallen off my radar for the last few months.
there actually hasn't been an update. I haven't seen anything, at least on my
Mhm.
end, of if there has been like, I mean, all I know is that we know the director and we know the writers and the producers. We know that
Mhm.
Amazon MGM is like backing it somehow. They have some involvement with Prime Video and whatever. And then the Sims team, we know that they are going to be involved, but
Mhm.
that's kind of about it. We don't know about the writing, the casting. We
Mm.
don't know how long
Oh
it's
my
going to
god.
be. If it's going to
The
be animation or live
casting?
action. Oh,
Yeah, okay, a lot of big questions still. Hopefully we get information soon because I don't even know if we have a timeline yet, but I just
mm-mm.
know as a community we're going to have some opinions. I feel like
Oh,
our bar for
definitely.
this is really high.
It
So good
really
luck to
is.
them.
Good luck to the Sims team because we're already like we're critical of the Sims, but when you're putting our
Yes.
love, our child on the
Mm.
big screen, we gonna have an opinion on
Oh,
that.
yes. Oh, yes. And
S-
also, I feel like we've had 2 years, I think roughly about 2 years since they announced this, or maybe a bit less. We've had two
Yeah,
years of time to think about it. I've seen some amazing Twitter threads of like dream casting and, storyline ideas. Like maybe they've been reading things in the back end. That would be really interesting if they were kind
I
of
feel like
seeing
they
how the
have.
community responded.
Yeah, like the way I want it to end, like basically make it the Truman Show, but the Sims.
I love The Truman Show. I think that's my dream outcome of this.
It's
I
so
agree.
good. It's like the sim or like the a real life person is in the Sims world and like doesn't realize it until something actually happens and decides that, you know what? I'm gonna step out. And then the
Yep.
camera pans all up to the sky, but somehow that person was actually a sim that kind of glitched in the system and like left. And so we are basically in this computer screen of like this person. It could be Will Wright if we wanted to, saying,
Oh,
"Oh, gotta go, dag dag," and
that
then
is
that's the end of the
that's
movie.
so good. That is so good. Dag dag. That is amazing. I'm all for it. Yeah, we need
I'm
more.
ready.
I'm excited for the trailer.
Oh, I'm so ready. I have so many theories and ideas of like what they could do and I feel like what they should do and instead of like casting, like they need
Mhm.
if they're gonna make a Sims movie, they gotta add in Simmers into the movie like they did for the Minecraft movie.
Please.
They gotta
Please.
include us somehow, some way.
I feel like with your background and with your experience, you definitely have opinions on this. You probably have all of like the insider, what would work, what wouldn't work. They definitely need to hook you up, honestly.
I gotta find a way in.
You have to find a way in. We got to make it
I'm gonna
happen.
I'm gonna contact EA right now.
Mid
um
podcast.
Yes, like, wait one moment, I'm just gonna email EA saying, "Hey, let me in your writer's room."
Emma says that I need to get involved.
Mhm,
So,
mhm.
let's make it happen.
Yes. I mean, Emma Nicole knows everything all about The Sims, so knowledgeable, and said I should be in it, and also is the Forbes 30 under 30 Europe lister. Like, hello? Now,
Aw.
we gotta talk about that because I think for me, I don't know how you felt, but for me, looking at that, like you are a simmer. We've never had a simmer on like
So
that big
crazy.
of level. And I'm just like, if Emma can do it,
What?
anyone can do it. And so,
Crazy.
like, like, what was your reaction to that? Because I know I've seen videos online, like you apply and then you get an
Mhm.
email, but like, take us through the whole thing.
Totally crazy, honestly, to even talk about it. It was a very similar experience to the Bee Creator Awards. So it was just kind of like, a suggestion to apply, nominate myself, and along with my manager. And, that whole application process, I really enjoyed. It was actually, you know what? It was a little different to the Be Creator nomination process because it's Forbes. It was asking very business related questions. And I honestly didn't have an answer to a lot of these questions. I did already know I was launching Playnist. So I remember
Okay,
thinking
good.
yeah, and I remember thinking at the time of when I was applying, um, this is definitely going to be something that I think they might find interesting. So like, let's make this a bit more of the feature, I guess, of my application. And but obviously it was completely pre-launch. It was so early. I had a little idea at that point. That's all it was. But I had a purpose behind it. I had a story behind why I was launching Playlist. So I was really just kind of sharing my full experience of, the journey of being a creator to then, hopefully soon launching this platform. So I was really talking about that in my application, but I had, there was some questions about funding and raising money and all of that, which I had obviously no answer for. So I didn't exactly have the best feeling after submitting the application,
Mhm.
but enjoyed the process nonetheless. And I think maybe a couple months later, I got a follow up email asking a couple more questions, but again, didn't really think anything too serious was going to come from it. Um, and then honestly woke up to the email and I found out the morning that it was announced. So there was no kind of like pre-preparation that I could do. And I woke up, I think my alarm, let's say, went off at 8 a.m. and I was like half asleep, eyes still closed, kind of swiping onto my phone. And I saw I had an email and I'm checking the emails. And I saw this email from Forbes and I completely lost my mind. I was like, am I still asleep right now? What is happening? My like immediately this kind of adrenaline, almost like fight or flight response kicked in. I just like had to quickly jump up out of bed and started pacing around my apartment. Like, what is this email? And I just like threw the phone at my boyfriend, like, please help me dissect this email. Like, what is this even saying? And then we clicked on the link and it was there. My face was there. There was a description. And in my application, I had told them, like, I'm not announcing Playlist for a while. So there was no mention of Playlist. I was actually nervous at the time. I was thinking, oh my God, are they going to write something about my gaming platform on here? But thankfully they hadn't. So I didn't need to, yeah. Otherwise, I would have been sad that they would have announced it
Mm,
before I had the opportunity to announce it. But
yeah.
it was just such a surreal, honestly, like a surreal few weeks following that experience. I had talked about kind of doing a little celebration, doing a celebratory stream, even doing like a little celebratory party with my friends where I live. In the end, I didn't do any of that. And it's really funny if I think back now to why I didn't do it. And it wasn't because I didn't want to do it, it was because I just didn't feel like it was real enough to do it, if that makes sense.
No,
It
that
was
makes a
like,
lot of sense.
it was just like totally an out of body experience that I felt so undeserving of. And oh, what's that called where you're kind of feeling like where
Like you're
you
having
don't,
an like you're an out like having an out of body experience or like imposter
yeah,
syndrome.
exactly that one, imposter syndrome. I think it was an imposter syndrome situation. Thank you. And I ended up not really kind of celebrating that moment in the way I feel now like I wish I had. But at the time, I wasn't ready mentally. I just really couldn't have that kind of attention. Felt like I just didn't even know how to answer if people were asking me about it. I didn't really even know what the answer to that would be. So it was a very bizarre few weeks following it, but now I've had time to process it. I'm extremely grateful, and what an incredible opportunity to be given that platform. But yeah, it was an interesting experience.
Well, that's good. I mean, honestly, Forbes, that's a very, very, very big brand. Like everyone knows Forbes at least somewhere in their life. They heard about it, and I'm really proud and happy for you that you got the opportunity to be
Oh,
on the list, especially in Europe, and hopefully more bigger, bigger things coming your way because you're just getting started. I will have to
so
say.
nice, so nice. Thank you.
Yes. Anytime. And I feel like with Forbes, like it comes with so many exciting opportunities and like for your career. Has there been any big things that has happened to you since being on Forbes 30 under 30?
I feel like one of the biggest kind of impacts that I think has had from being on the list and associated with Forbes is, I guess, the credibility that it does give. And it's like what we were saying at the beginning. Sometimes being a content creator feels a little bit like it's a relatively new job, and sometimes it does feel people don't necessarily take it seriously. That is getting better. But what platforms like Forbes do is they really kind of amplify creator voices. And there's a few other platforms that do it too. But they really just kind of recognize the power, the impact, the kind of, I guess, momentum that creators have on community and on like pop culture. And I
Mhm.
think, yeah, having the kind of credibility of Forbes 30 under 30 has at least really helped me see that it helps give a little bit of kind of credibility to the content creator world in general, and honestly the Sims community in general as well. I feel like
Yes.
I feel so proud at least to have kind of introduced Forbes, or at least not introduced necessarily, but at least had them kind of do a deep dive into the world of the Sims community through like my application, for example, where I was talking about Sims community being on Twitch and at TwitchCon and all of these things. So at least being able to share that story with them, I think has been really cool.
That's good, and I think a lot of the times people are still understanding, like, what The Sims is, what a content creators, what
Mm-hmm.
Twitch is as a whole, and just overall just understanding this new side or this other side of the world that they're probably not familiar with, but they probably have heard, but just not too sure if it's
Yep.
legitimate at the end of the
Yep.
day. So,
Exactly.
yeah, and it's nice that there people are now seeing that this could be sustainable. This could be a longevity type of career for a lot of people, whether you're just getting started or you've been in this for a very long time. People who have done corporate jobs left their corporate job to be a content creator because they've had
Yeah.
like that general background knowledge that they could utilize to help educate others in
Mm-hmm.
this new front of society with social media and analytics and trends. And it's nice to know that you have learned that on that end and being able to utilize that to tap into something more creative and more exciting. And Playnist, when I found out about it when you announced it, I was so excited because
Oh.
I feel like a lot of the times there's so many like platforms out there and they're all so confusing or they're just not really geared towards a very specific niche. Like
Mm-hmm.
Steam is great, Reddit's great, but Playlist feels more like home, at least for me. And like the way you said it in your initial like announcement email, you made Playlist as a way for like a social cataloging platform and a space to celebrate all kinds of play. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like games aren't just products we consume, they're experiences we remember and reminisce on. And we were saying
Mm-hmm.
this earlier how Sims is, it feels like the experiences we have, we remember and we'll always remember those. And I like that Playlist is a place for all people. And it's just good. And so, kind of let's take us back to how you initially came up with the idea of Playlist. You came up with the idea last summer, but what
Mm-hmm.
is, how did you like really solidify like the idea that you wanted to do this and make it a legitimate thing?
Well, honestly, firstly, I feel like I could not have just said that as better as you just described it. You fully, I feel like I've just encapsulated all my thoughts, and
Ah,
I am so glad and grateful that you like really resonate well with the product and the messaging, and yeah, that you'd see a need for it. So super appreciate that. Thank you.
yes.
The okay, let's go back to the idea playlist. I guess as you said last summer, I was kind of getting more into other types of games. I was playing my Switch and I was playing lots of different cozy games and I was following all these new creators on TikTok and they were recommending so many amazing games. I was really kind of branching out. And with every
Mm,
new game that I was playing, I was kind of lacking that kind of big celebration moment of like, that's another game that you've played, that you've enjoyed, or not. Maybe it wasn't such a great experience, but either way, I was kind of lacking that conclusion of finishing a game. And in
mm-hmm.
parallel, I was having similar experiences reading. I'm on Goodreads and I actually am part of a book club. So with every book that I
Oh,
finish, I was kind of celebrating and I was writing a review for it and I was talking about it with my book club. And it was just, a much more kind of special moment to finish a book. And then I was thinking, this feels wrong when gaming is definitely my biggest passion in life. And I don't have that same kind of moment for my gaming experiences. So that kind of seed was planted, and I was feeling like there was definitely something missing. And then I guess, over the last 4 years, I've just really been my eyes have been open to the power of gaming communities. So a lot of the
mhm.
games that I play are solo games like The Sims. I'm very much in my own little world, building and being creative. But even though the games that I'm playing are solo, the best part of them for me is sharing them with others, whether that's like sharing a build that I'm proud of or, you know, Twitch communities coming together to, watch someone play and talk about the new pack. And, the part of the social aspects of gaming are so powerful. And I was really just feeling like there's a platform that hasn't fully provided us with a space to do that yet.
Mm.
Kind of fragmented. You've got like maybe your friends are on Discord or Twitch, and then maybe kind of, as you said, the reviews are on Steam, and then kind of the quick reaction type commentaries on Twitter. But it's like 5 or 6 different platforms. And I knew that it could all be brought together to one kind of safe, I guess, like centralized space.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's how Playnist was born. And for me, it was just an absolute no-brainer that it was going to be genre focused and kind of learning from the mistakes of the other platforms who maybe have things like moderation as a kind of, I guess, a second thought, as an afterthought. I knew that I needed to create a space for the communities that I'm part of and that I'm proud to be part of. And yeah, that's the life simulation genres, the cozy genres, really supporting our female gamers, all the different marginalized groups. Like moderation is going to be a big part of the platform as it scales. And I'm just learning from all of the mistakes that the other gaming platforms have made.
Yeah, that's very true, and I like that you built this, and it's made by gamers for gamers,
Yes.
and it's definitely important to uplift and showcase unmarginalized, communities and female gamers because for me, I feel like the industry as a whole, like being a male content creator, the industry is like just weird and toxic as we all know, and I feel like we need
Mm-hmm.
to have like that central place where we can feel like ourselves and feel
Mm-hmm.
like we're not being judged for what we play. And like with The Sims and like a lot of other cozy games and just games in general, I think having one singular platform because I feel like creators and just gamers and just people are being stretched too thin with so many platforms coming about,
Mm-hmm.
especially having a place where we can do like reviews and kind of
Mm-hmm.
commentate and like share our general excitement and experience of what we're playing. I think having this, like you said, like think of Goodreads, but for gamers. And I
Mhm.
think Playness is very, very important and something that we've all been needing for a very long time because I'm
Mhm.
not joking. I love me some Sims, but this new game, and I don't know if you played it, Tiny Bookshop, that
I
game,
stop. I haven't played it yet. I am desperate to play it. I have it
oh my
downloaded.
gosh.
I think I'm waiting for the right moment. Maybe this weekend is that
Mm,
moment.
yes. Ooh.
Is it
All I
good?
can say, yes, get all your work done that you can that doesn't feel too stressful because you're gonna be locked in. That game is so good. What I love about it, to not spoil, too much, but I feel like what's so
Mhm.
good about it is that the books are real life book titles in the
Oh my
game.
god, I think I've seen that. So like you actually have the experience of knowing what maybe a book is about and who is a
Mhm.
good buyer for the book. Okay, that's a great idea.
Yes. It's so cozy and so heartfelt, and it's like there are
Mm,
book titles that I recognize, like Heartstopper and Pride and Prejudice and War and
love
Peace, and
those.
it is just so fascinating. You will love that game. It's
Great.
definitely made for anyone that loves book reading or just
Mhm.
loves cozy, simple games with a story.
Okay, adding that, basically clearing my diary for the weekend and adding that to the top
Mhm.
of my list. But you actually said
Mhm.
something which I found really interesting and I totally agree with. You said about like how as Sims players sometimes on these other gaming platforms, I mean, at least in my experience, I've definitely had my fair share of comments from people kind of invalidating The Sims being a game, or at least
Mhm.
me being a real gamer because I play these games. And I just, there's going to be no space for that on Playlist. That's kind of, I guess, where the root of why Playlist was born, because I really feel like we need to completely change the narrative of what it means to be a gamer. Because
Mhm.
you know, and I know that The Sims is as much as a game as, I don't know, whatever game they might be playing, whatever they're
Right.
comparing The Sims to, we know that The Sims is equally as much of a game.
Yes,
But
indeed.
there's just been just been a rise of communities that really try to invalidate our experiences as a gamer. And I think that's really sad.
Yeah, I know, and I feel like I wish the gaming culture was a lot better of, like, celebrating everyone, no matter what we
Hmm.
play and how we play, and whether we play just solo or multiplayer or whatever it might be. I think at the end of the day, we are playing what we love. And I think that's something that I like about Playness. Like in your mission at the very end, you were saying like we're softening the sharp edges of gaming culture because gaming
Yep.
culture is like very like sharp and scary and you're just
Yep.
softening those edges where like hey, if you need a place to be, you can do it here. And like everyone needs moderation and having a way where they can feel safe, heard, and feel happy about what they're doing. And I like that it's connected and very inclusive at its core. And it's
Hmm.
very important to have a place where you can do that. And it's all about community collection. And for me,
Oh.
all I know, I'm going to be obsessed. And I'm going to say it now, y'all are hurting my wallet because these
You are
games,
going to be
I
playing so
swear,
many games. The
I am.
recommendations, they're going to be coming in so hard. And oh my God, I feel like honestly, I'm really feeling proud of Plainus, the way you're describing it, how you clearly totally get it. You're seeing straight into my brain and my thoughts and my story. And I'm feeling really proud. This is kind of the outcome of all of our gaming experiences over the last 4 years as a content creator, and just kind of knowing we all know what's missing and where things need to be fixed, and we're just gonna do it one step at a time.
Yeah, and I always say this every time, is like, if you don't see it out there, create it.
Love that. I love that.
Yeah, that's what I've always been taught by my parents, like, if there's something out there that doesn't represent you, then you make it how you want, and you did that with
Wow,
plainness.
that's amazing. I totally stand by that, actually.
Yeah,
And
and so I'm
sometimes it's
just
like without even realizing it, you kind of just feel, maybe it's like a frustration of like not feeling either represented or not feeling like you have the tools or whatever you're looking for. Sometimes it just happens naturally, and That's so cool.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is, and I think that's what we always have to think about at the end of the day at our core that if we wanna create something, we gotta make it ours first and then
Mhm.
really think about the bigger message of how we want to represent this to the world.
Mhm. I love
And
that.
yeah, and I think it's just it's great. It's just great. So I'm really excited when Playlist officially, like, comes out and people can join and be in it and just have fun and just kind of just giggle and have a great time with all the
Thank
reviews and the
you.
games that they're gonna share. Um,
Yeah.
but to move forward to your future plans, like, where do you see yourself and your brand, Playness, Hi, I'm a Nicole, everything in the next 5 years? Because I know it's a big question, and I feel like
Oh.
teachers ask, it's like, "Where do you see yourself in 5 years?" Like, I don't know, but you never know.
Oh, wow. Actually, it would be really funny to go back and see what we all answered for those kinds of questions.
Oh, yes.
Wow. Okay. 5 years. I think, okay, well, the backdrop of the gaming industry, the creator economy, I think that the world is moving very fast. It's moving scarily fast. I don't like it, but
Mhm.
I do feel like, we've got a scary few years ahead of having to kind of adapt and react and evolve. And, we got to take it one day at a time, but I'm kind of preparing myself for that experience. I guess me personally, I'm kind of going into that with the mindset of making sure that I don't allow myself to get fully kind of lost and immersed in this really crazy fast world, and
Mhm.
still making sure I give myself the space to breathe and be creative and to be kind of present. I definitely feel like at the beginning of my creator journey, I struggled with that balance, and I'm not going to let that happen again. I'm really going
Mm.
to make sure that I continue to find balance. I really have started enjoying working out this year. All of these things help me to be the best creator that I can. So it's so important that I invest in that too.
Mhm.
So, yeah, in 5 years, I see myself continuing to find that balance between my life, my health, my happiness, and then sharing my passion, of gaming with the world. And then also Playnist, building Playnist, this really exciting big project that definitely feels overwhelming 99% of the time. But then that
Mhm.
1% of the time, I'm feeling like I'm excited for this challenge. But yeah, I want to make sure that I don't kind of lose my personal space in the meantime, and I still find a way to balance that, health and happiness as I'm building this
Mhm.
big project. So 5 years from now, I hope that I have found the perfect balance between all of the fun creative projects and myself.
That's good. I think it's important to find that balance, especially for the future, because it's very uncertain of like what could
Yes.
happen. And you just got to play it by ear one day at a time and not overload yourself. But we are human and we are growing and learning every single day. And we just
Mm-hmm.
have to enjoy it while we can. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I will say it's really cool and so amazing to hear about your journey from the very beginning and to your new endeavors that you're doing right now is playing this and
Mm-hmm.
your judging committee and Forbes and just overall just excited to see what could possibly happen for you in the next 5 years. And I'm just excited. I'm really, really
Oh,
excited. Yeah. And
you're so
I
nice.
yeah, I'm all about hyping people up because sometimes we as people, I feel like you feel the same way. We are our own self critic and we don't really
Oh
give
yeah.
ourselves all the hype and praise that we deserve. And you deserve all the praise and hype because what you're doing is really, really awesome.
So so nice. I really appreciate it, and I do totally agree with you that we are our worst critiques. So it's nice to talk with somebody who's you're completely in the same world that I am, and we watch the same things and see the same things, and yeah, I really appreciate hearing your perspective on everything.
Yeah. And what would you say, like, for the next 5 years, like, as life goes on, like, what would you say is like what are your tools and resources that you have been finding the most valuable in your career that you want to continue to use in the next 5 years or so?
Ooh, okay. Love that question. I think that I spoke a little bit about it in the podcast as well, about kind of like finding my workflow. So I was speaking specifically about kind of the breakdown between long form and short form content. But now I'm in
Mhm.
this kind of new phase of building Playlist. I'm now trying to find my new workflow, just with like creator versus kind of founder. And I'm finding tools like Notion to be so valuable at
Oh,
really kind of
yes.
helping me break down my day, my calendar, my to-dos, my tasks. But then also Notion gives me the ability to have kind of multiple they're not, I don't know if they're called Notion pages, but like the channels, I can have multiple of
Yeah.
them. So I have like one entirely Em and Nicole dedicated one, and then one dedicated Playnist one. And I can keep those two worlds separate, and it keeps it really kind of clear and organized about what needs to be done and when and where. And I think Notion is an incredible tool, and it's free, which is
Oh,
amazing.
I love free 99, and that's why I love
Yes.
Notion. Like,
Yes.
like, when
Yeah.
it's free, I will take it, and
Oh,
it's worth
yes.
it, and I've been using Notion for so long, and I found it so
Mm-hmm.
helpful because I separate, like you said, your Emma Nicole and your Playlist,
Yep.
team spaces. I have one
That's
for
it.
this podcast, my Twitch stuff, and, like, my personal, and
Amazing.
it is so helpful, especially keeping track of all the sponsorships and analytics and
Mhm.
updating, like, media kits. It is like a one-stop shop of whatever you wanna do. It's open-ended, which is scary, but you make it how you want.
Yeah, and you're right, it's open-ended, you can kinda customize it, you can have it kind of very visually representative of whatever world that you're creating it for, but I don't know where I saw this, I feel like it was probably Twitter. Someone said, "Imagine you wake up one morning and someone had deleted your Notion." Oh
Oh,
my god, the fear that that
I
that
would
triggered in
crumble.
me, I don't even like, I feel like half of us would be we'd be like walking around like clueless. What do we do? Where's all my stuff? What's next? What's
Right.
coming? That I just don't even want to think about that.
Oh, I could cry for that because 'cause I'm like, "I can't do it. I can't live without my Notion." It's like it's my everything. It's where I bind all of my tools and
Yeah.
ooh, yeah,
No,
ooh.
thank you. No,
No, no, no,
thanks.
no.
No, 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 no. No, thank you.
Well, to end off the podcast, I do this for all of my guests, some rapid fire questions that I want to ask you.
Fun.
Okay. Next big personal goal.
Personal goal. Oh my god. Oh, stop. I'm so bad at these quick fire questions. Personal goal is I want to start eating healthier.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I've not got the best diet.
Neither do I. um, Coolest project on your plate right now?
Playlist, the coolest project,
Yes.
also definitely the biggest project, but my god, we got a very exciting few months ahead, so definitely Playlist.
Oh, I am very excited for that. Then, hardest lesson you've learned building your platform and playlist?
The hardest lesson I learned. Oh, okay. The hardest lesson is that I don't have all of the skills. So, I am a creative person. I absolutely live for community building and I live for connection, but I do not have technical skills. I really know nothing about kind of product design, building a tech product, coding. I was very humbled at the beginning of that experience. So, yeah, the hardest lesson I've learned is you just really have to accept that you really don't know everything and you need help in a lot of things, most things, honestly. So yeah, that's been the hardest experience.
Okay. And favorite creative tool you can't live without, other than Notion?
Favorite creative tool. Okay, this is not that creative. Okay, I'm gonna say Premiere Pro because
Yes.
I've never been into CapCut, as in, the editing
Yeah.
videos directly on my phone. I've just never really agreed with it. And Premiere Pro has just kind of been there for me for my pretty much my entire journey. So I've really kind of learned all the features through YouTube and self-taught all the different things on Premiere Pro. And it was a steep learning curve. It feels overwhelming at the beginning. And now I feel like me and Premiere Pro are friends. So I'm going to give credit to Premiere Pro.
Yes, and I've just found out they're actually gonna be releasing, Adobe Premiere Pro on the Apple and Android store at some point soon, because 'cause they're taking away
No.
Premiere Rush, but Premiere Pro is gonna be on mobile now, which is very
Wait, that's
exciting.
huge. That's
Yeah,
huge.
I found
Okay,
that out
that's
through
amazing.
LinkedIn, and I'm like, "They announced that on the 4th. Can I have it now?" Because like, that's really
Right.
so helpful.
That's so helpful. That's always been something I wanted, is to be able to at least do some editing on the go. I am writing that down to go and put that in my
Yes.
diary somewhere. Amazing.
Yes. And last and final question. What piece of advice that you can give to someone wanting to start as a creator?
Oh, okay. Piece of advice to someone wanting to start as a creator. I would say go into it looking for connection and community and creating bonds with people, because once you have that, everything else just becomes so much more enjoyable. And when you have the ability to connect with people and learn from them and find out what their wants are, what their likes and dislikes are, creating content is so rewarding. So go into it wanting to build a lovely community that you connect with and people that you feel like, you are friends with, and then create content for them specifically.
That's very good advice for sure.
Mhm.
W- Well, Emma, thank you so much again for being on my podcast for
Thank
Hello Spring.
you.
Yes, it was so nice to talk to you about everything under the sun, and I hope to see you again very soon. Actually, I will in
You
Ohio.
will. Countdown,
Yes.
is it a month? Maybe even less than a month.
I think almost, yeah, less than a month. Sometime at the end of this month, September, I will see you.
I'm so excited. I feel like we have
Yes.
so much more still to talk about. So I'm
Oh,
excited
we
that I get to
do.
see you in a few weeks. But thank
Yes,
you
and
so
if
much for having me.
yes, anytime, and if you ever want to be on the podcast again and yap some more, let me know. I am
I'm
more than
down.
happy.
I'm
Um,
so down.
yes, and so where can the people find you on the internet?
I am at Hi Emma Nicole across all socials, Emma Nicole. And if you would like to follow Playnist, follow the journey, learn more about the world of Playnist and see what we get up to up until launch, then you can also follow us on Playnist, Playnist, across all socials, or just playnist.com.
Awesome. Well, I will put those all down in the show notes below for people to check out and get
Mm-hmm.
and sign up. But then
Yay!
again, yes. But then again, thank you so much, and we will see you all next time.
Bye!
Bye. Well, my friends, that was the end of the episode with my good friend Emma Nicole. I hope you all really enjoyed it. I definitely sure did, because learning more about Emma's journey about being a content creator from where she started to where she's at now, and just understanding the history around Playlist and knowing that it's a social platform for anyone and everyone who wants to have a more meaningful and community driven way to discover, organize, and share their gaming experiences of what gaming means to them, but also finding games that that they might like as well. And for me, I have so many games, and Playlist came at the perfect time for me. And I'm so excited to dive deep into it and really organize and personalize my gaming catalog the way I've always wanted to do. And so, if you ever want to check out Playlist, I will link all the show notes down below. Definitely sign up for the waitlist and get yourself in, because you, my friends, will be left inspired. So, if this episode left you inspired and excited to know more about Emma Nicole's journey of being a creator, a Forbes 30 Under 30 lister, and new founder of Playlist, Definitely check out all the social media links in the show notes below. And when I tell you Playnist is going to be the next social platform that will leave you inspired, excited, and celebrated, I truly mean it. It's going to be a place where you can organize, personalize, and discover new games for new experiences for you, your friends, and anyone that wants to have a place where they can feel like they belong. And honestly, I sure enough do. But with all that being said, I hope you all enjoyed today's episode, and I will hear and see you all next time. Bye!